with Cal, it was the whole deal. You study with him, you played on his mouthpieces, you played on his barrels. I bought clarinets from him, and I loved them. But after he died, I started experimenting with trying different mouthpieces, different things. And I think I eventually came to a mouthpiece that seems to do what his mouthpieces did, but maybe a little more practical for me, a little easier to play. So that's what I'm playing on a Ramon Wadkowski. He's a mouthpiece maker who I think is based now in Detroit. He was based in London for a while, and then would travel all over the world. A lot of that is, all of that is stopped because of the conditions we're in. Right. But he does mail order work, and so those are but even when the pandemic started and our shutdown occurred, I thought I would try some other mouthpieces. I tried some Van Doren BD5s, and have you tried them?
Yeah, one of the local band directors referred me to those. It's one that he promoted to a lot of his studio. I understand why people might like it. It's just not for me. Having played on it, I feel like it makes sense. It's just not for me.
Right. I was really giving it a shot, and I practiced on it exclusively for maybe 2 months. I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to really make it work. I tried various reeds on it. And then when I actually tried to start playing some music on it, I found I had no endurance. It was just too open for me. Cal's mouthpieces and Ramon's, that at least the ones that I have purchased, are on the closer side. So it's kind of nice to try something different, especially something that's really different. Yeah. And then when you're back, you appreciate what you have. I also have an M13, which I kind of like. But for now, I'm just going to stay with what I have.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So,
and I'd like to, if it's possible, go see Ramon again and maybe have him check on the mouthpieces. I mean, they do change.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately.
What are you using at the moment?
I'm still on my my Sayer mouthpiece.
Great.
Last time, I think when he made it for me, he told me he's just not going to make anymore.
That's great. Yeah.
So, plus, I think he was still using the Zinner blanks, and I'm told that they're no longer around. So
they're no longer. They stopped producing them. So
that's yet another reason I guess I need to get back into the industry.
You want to get the sound out of the mouthpiece, but you want it to hold. You want to be able to sustain and play a phrase, and that's embouchure and all of that stuff. But it's equipment too. So I really believe that you have to have equipment that doesn't make it harder to play. I know some mouthpiece makers talk a lot about having more of the center built into the equipment. That's one thing that Al worked on, and I think that seems to be what my present mouthpiece seems to help me do. So I think it shouldn't be hard to play. I mean, it's hard enough as it is, but you shouldn't be struggling to get the sound out of the instrument. Yeah, I think one of the Van Doren mouthpieces is a good bet. They're easily accessible. You can buy them just about anywhere. You can mail order them. And there are enough facings that you can find something you like. So, you could, you might like the 5RV or the 5RV Lyre, or you might like the M13 or the 15 or whatever, M30 or the BD5. I mean, there's so many facings that there's something you could find. And then because there's such a variety, you can figure out what you like. And then if you want to have somebody make something like that for you, with a more precisely fashioned facing, with not just a factory facing, then you can do that. But I think they're really good. They're consistent.
It takes some of the guesswork out of it for somebody who might be intimidated by what they're looking at.
Yeah, they're not expensive. They're around $100 or a little less if you find a deal somewhere on certain models. You can spend a lot of money on a custom-made mouthpiece. So
Yes.
it's good to know what you want first. So I'd say for beginners, it depends on what kind of a beginner and what kind of an advancing player you are, but and it depends on who your teacher is and what they play on, and there's so many variables. But I always recommend a Van Doren, but not everybody takes my recommendations either. So, but that's what I think has been good. I used to play on one of the Bain mouthpieces. I still have it, and I like it a lot. And I've had students on the Bains as well. So, and you've had a Bain mouthpiece, or had?
Yeah, I had. He refaced an older. I forget what it was. It was an older, like, vintage era mouthpiece that he'd redone.
Yeah, wasn't it Elmer you had, or was it a woodwind? Maybe a woodwind.
Yeah, it was. I remember he did a woodwind company one for me. I've had some old Selmers. I can't remember who's had hands on them now.
Mm-hmm.
He may have had his hands on them as well.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that drew me to him when he first started producing producing mouthpieces. Is looking at kind of the value of the old school vintage stuff, and how he was able how he could reproduce something like that for today. And looking at it now, it seems like his work has really evolved over the years. So someone else I want to try to connect with, maybe get him on this show. And when I can,
he's got some wonderful videos about showing him working on his mouthpieces and also making reeds.